everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, do subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon down there so that you never miss out any of my uploads. So today I have a task for you. So just try to remember any of your conversation that you did with your friend or your teacher or your parents, any of these conversations, and just try to remember that how you named the person with whom you were talking to. Of course, with the words like you, he, basically one with you. And if you were talking about someone else, instead of saying his or her name repetitively in every sentence, you use the words like he, she, or it. Why so? Or even when I'm speaking right now, I'm using the word you. Why? Ever thought of it? So basically these are by these or observations we can clearly see that these all set of words are used instead of nouns, right? Because we all have names, but instead of speaking the name repetitively every time, we use the words like you, he, she, it, and so on. Why so? Now let's talk about that. So for that, we need to compare two sets of sentences. Basically the sentences will be saying, just I'll be doing so that I'll remove all the nouns and add these words in the first set, and in the second set I'm going to use those nouns. Now let's see the first set. Ram is a boy. He likes to swim. He won many medals in swimming competitions. Sounded natural, right? Now let's come to the next set. Ram is a boy. Ram likes to swim. Ram won many medals in swimming competitions. So it sounded quite strange, right? Why so? Because we are used to with pronouns. Now why pronouns are required in our sentences that we speak daily? So as our observations tell us that speaking the name of that person or a thing or anything repetitively sounds quite off, right? Like if I'll be speaking a name of a person repetitively whenever I'll be noting him or her, it sounds quite strange, right? For example, now I'm talking to you. Instead of saying your name, though I don't know what's your name, but still you sounds more natural to our ears. Now why so? So we have already found out, because whenever we try to use a noun repetitively in a sentence, it sounds quite strange. So to avoid that strange feeling, pronouns are used. Now as I said that these words are called pronouns, right? So first we were speaking these words, but now they have a name with them. Pronouns. Pronouns, even in this name noun comes. So pronouns are the words that are used in the place of noun. Quite easy definition, right? And logical as well, because whenever we try to use a noun repetitively in a sentence, it sounds quite strange, as we have already discussed. But I have one more question for you, that whenever I'm noting a person with whom I'm talking, I use you, and when I'm talking about a boy, I use he. Whenever I'm talking about a girl, I use she. Why so? Why not same pronoun every time? Well, this tells us that there are different words for different persons. For example, whenever you speak, three activities are being done. Like I speak, I am basically the doer, right? I am speaking, you are listening, and about whom we are talking is the other persons, right? Basically, I'm the first person because I'm doing that. You are the second person because you're listening that, and about whom we are talking is the third person. Now, this is all clear. This all is clear to you. So, according to these categories only, all these words are differentiated from each other. For example, whenever I talk about myself, I use I. Instead of speaking my name repetitively, I use I. If I'm singular, for example, I'm singular, right? I'm only one person sitting over here. So I use I. But what if there were many people around here who were speaking? We would use we, right? So I with singular first person. And who is the first person? The one who speaks, right? It's clear to you. So the one who speaks is the first person, and the one who listens is the second person, and about whom we are talking is the third person. So now let's come on the first person again. So if I'm singular, so I'll use I, and with many or with plural we use we. So for the first person, if the first person is singular, we'll use I, and if the first person will be plural, we'll use we. Now let's come on the second person. Have you noticed something, that if the person who is listening is one, then also we use you, and if there are many persons who are listening, then also we use you. This tells us that doesn't matter how many people are listening to you. The thing that matters is that we always use you. So the second person need not to remember anything, it's always you. Now let's jump on to the third person category. In this, it's quite tricky to remember for the first time. So whenever we talk about a boy, as I said, that we use he, and whenever we talk about a girl, we use she. So this all is clear to you. But what if the person is non-living? Then we have a word it. If the thing is non-living, because always things are non-living, we use it. So if there are more amount of boys or a large amount of boys, then also we use he. No, we use they. And what if they were girls? Then also we use they. And same with the non-living things. So in third person category, you understood that if there's a boy, we use he. If there's a girl, we use she. If a non-living thing, also known as neutral, we use it. And if there were many people about whom we were talking, so then we use they. And they is for all three of them, for boys also, for girls also, for combination of all these also. Then also we use they. So this was all what I was supposed to tell you in this video. What I pronounced, now let's have a quick recall of whatever we discussed in this video. So what I pronounced, as we discussed, right, as we observed in the activity, that pronouns are the words that replace, right, that replace a noun. Because whenever we try to use the same noun every time, it becomes quite strange, right, quite strange to listen. And we even discussed that according to the person categories, basically the first, second and third person category, we have different pronouns. And even in those categories, we have two subcategories, basically the singular one and the plural one. In first person category, for the singular person, if speaker is single, then we use I. For example, I am speaking. And if they are plural person, then we use we. Now let's come to the second person category. In second person category, doesn't matter how many people are listening to you, we always use you. So need not remember anything in this second person category. Every time we use you. Third person category. So in third person, if the one about whom we are talking is a boy, then we use a single boy. Note it, single boy, he, single girl, she, non-living thing, and that also single, it. And if any of these are in a large number, so then we use they. So this was all for today's video. And let me tell you one more thing, that pronouns also have many different types. For example, possessive and reflexive, emphasizing, and many more. So if you want me to explain those as well, because even those are very easy, like these were easy, those are also very easy. So I'll be explaining all of these categories basically in my next video. This video was just a quick or just kind of introduction of pronouns. Hopefully everything is clear to you, and just subscribe to my channel if you like my video, and also like my video. Bye bye.